before I head over to Clark and Fullerton, then I'm going to go back to work here.
An early blast of winter has turned Chicago into a snow-covered city. Cold Arctic air sweeping across Lake Michigan triggered a major nature disaster overnight. What began as light flurries quickly grew into an intense outbreak of extreme weather.
So I know everybody's not available. Some people are off today. Other people got to work like me.
Meteorologists from the National Weather Service confirmed that the system intensified rapidly. Cold, dry air passed over the warmer waters of Lake Michigan, creating long, narrow snow bands. These bands dumped snow at rates exceeding 2 inches per hour in several areas. The storm struck hardest in the early morning hours of November 10, 2025. While much of downtown Chicago saw lighter accumulations, nearby suburbs faced blizzard-like scenes. Visibility dropped to near zero as gusty winds pushed snow across open highways. At O'Hare Airport, only 1.7 inches of snow was recorded, but further south and east, conditions were far worse. Cedar Lake, Indiana measured 12.3 inches, while Momence, Illinois received nearly the same amount. In towns such as Winthrop Harbor, totals reached 10 inches. Nearby Wadsworth reported over 6 inches within just a few hours. Each lake-effect snow band hit with precision, striking some communities while sparing others. Roads across Cook, Lake, and Kankakee counties became impassable. Snowplows worked through the night, but snowfall outpaced clearing efforts. The Illinois State Police reported dozens of traffic incidents before dawn. By sunrise, Chicago's expressways were lined with stranded cars and jackknife trucks. Commuters faced delays that stretched for hours. Officials urged residents to stay home until conditions improved. Air travel was equally disrupted. More than 450 flights were canceled at O'Hare and Midway airports. Crews battled snow-covered runways and strong crosswinds that made de-icing nearly impossible.
I just stepped in a big pile of slush there when you step off the curb.
Public transportation struggled to keep up. Train services ran on reduced schedules, and buses were delayed throughout the region. Snow drifted along the tracks, freezing switches and slowing the city's normally fast rhythm. Schools across northern Illinois and northwest Indiana announced closures. Districts in Lake and Cook counties switched to remote learning for the day. Officials said the decision was based purely on road safety and visibility concerns.
Is that somebody in a ditch? No, that's a car in a ditch.
Emergency services stayed on high alert through the morning. Firefighters and rescue crews responded to accidents on slick roads. Shelters opened their doors to stranded motorists and residents without heat. Meteorologists explain that this setup was a textbook example of lake-effect snow. Warm lake water met Arctic air, fueling instability in the lower atmosphere. Moisture rose, cooled, and fell as intense snowfall directly downwind of Lake Michigan. The National Weather Service called it a classic early season event. Their forecast maps showed narrow snow corridors stretching from the lake into northern Indiana. These thin stationary bands were responsible for the sharp differences in snowfall totals. Reports of thunder snow also surfaced near the shoreline. Lightning flashed within heavy snowbands, a rare and dramatic feature of such storms. Wind gusts along the lake reached nearly 45 miles per hour at times. By midday, the worst of the storm began to fade. Temperatures hovered near freezing, raising concerns about icy roads overnight. Officials warned that cleanup could take more than a day in the hardest hit zones.
2025, November.
Power outages remained limited, but crews stayed busy clearing fallen branches and lines. About 15,000 homes briefly lost electricity across Illinois and Indiana. Most were restored within hours as conditions slowly stabilized. Residents began the familiar task of digging out. Neighbors helped one another clear sidewalks and driveways buried under a foot of snow. City workers focused on reopening main roads before the evening commute. Despite the disruption, community spirit was strong. Volunteers handed out warm drinks to plow operators and emergency crews. Local restaurants offered free meals to first responders working through the night. Experts say this early snowstorm may signal an active winter season ahead. With warmer lakes and frequent Arctic intrusions, lake effect events could intensify. Forecasters warn that this pattern may repeat several times in the coming months. As evening settled in, Chicago began to recover from its sudden blast of winter. Traffic resumed slowly, schools prepared to reopen, and skies cleared over the lake. For many, it was a reminder that extreme weather can arrive swiftly and without mercy. The storm's impact will fade, but its lesson remains clear. Preparation and cooperation are the keys to safety during events like this. Winter has come early, and the people of Chicago are ready to face what lies ahead.